Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, people. How is everyone doing today? Liverpool actually won a game of football this weekend. Absolutely amazing. Are we back? Probably not. Are we in a title race? Probably not. But still, it's good to see Liverpool win. Much improved performance. You know, I said it many times yesterday. Mentality. The mentality has completely changed. You know, it was about keeping that clean sheet. You know, going into the game, it was all about, are the players still playing for Arne Slot? I think we got the answer yesterday. No doubt about it. They are. You know, it was much improved. So yeah, delighted Liverpool won. But we have to keep it going. There's no point in going to West Ham and winning and then dropping points at home to Sunderland on Wednesday night. So we have to keep it going. You know, we just have to keep this going. The big story, of course, is Mo Salah was dropped. He deserved to be dropped. Liverpool looked the better team without him. So yeah, we keep it going, people. Absolutely delighted Liverpool won. Usually these Monday nights live streams are a group therapy session. But today, we're in good form, people. Liverpool won. Deadbeat says, treble incoming. Telling you, why not, lads? We're back. Maybe not, but still. No, it's much improved. Much improved performance. Tell you, if we went on a run now, you see Arsenal there yesterday. They couldn't beat 10-man Chelsea. The crack's beginning. I don't know. I've said it many times. If Liverpool can stay within 6-7 points of Arsenal with maybe 10 games to go, we have a chance. But we need to use this now. But at least we won't get relegated. Still time. No, I was delighted yesterday. I really was. I've heard a few Liverpool fans say it was boring. It was a boring game. I didn't think it was. You know, I'm always very nervous when Liverpool play anyway, so for me it wasn't. Christina's in the chat. Must win on Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely. There's no point in going to London against West Ham, winning that 2-0, keeping a clean sheet, and then dropping points on Wednesday. Just no point. We have to use this momentum now. Simple as. I mean, he has to pick the same team. I thought Konate was very good. I'd imagine it's because of the whole Madrid thing is gone. You know, I mean, he looked like he was really focused on his game. And you just wonder with the whole Real Madrid thing, I'd say he's definitely going to sign a contract now. But he played very good. Mort is in the chat. Glad you're on Wirtz's side now. Mort is the biggest Florian Wirtz fan ever. And I have to admit, I've been saying to him all season, this man is not good enough for Liverpool. I was wrong. And I'm happy to admit that. What a performance that was from him yesterday. Man of the match by a country mile. And I think it definitely did help that Mo Salah wasn't playing. And I mean, look, it sounds harsh, but the fact is, Liverpool look a better team without him. Florian Wirtz was absolutely unbelievable yesterday. He really was. Let's just see what happens. We said the same after beating Villa and Madrid. That's true, but big difference. When we beat Villa and Madrid, 2 home games, we then had to go to the Etihad. Very tough fixture, and it was a disaster. But the fixtures now, they're kind to us. So to go to London away from home, it's our first away win since, I think, Burnley. Burnley away, people. So to go to there and win a home game now, Wednesday night, we've conceded 7 goals in our last 2 home games. There has to be some sort of a response. We can't allow that to happen again. So hopefully to keep this going. Liverpool got Wirtz for cheap. Looking like it yesterday. I mean, that first half performance was unbelievable. It really was. You know, Arne Slot gave him a free role. And it really did suit him. And I've said this before about him. I want to see, like, a confidence, a swagger, I mean, he cost 100 million. That's not his fault. But at least, come into the club and be like, yeah, I'm the man. And yesterday it was, give me the ball, I'm going to make something happen. And I haven't seen that all season with him. And I thought he was brilliant. Timothy says Salah should no longer be a starter now at Liverpool. Isak, Ekitike and Wirtz are the future. Hope Salah has the strength of character now to keep him out of the starting 11. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was proof. Yesterday was proof. I mean, he just has to keep it. You keep a winning team. So yeah, I mean, look, Salah is a legend, an absolute legend. But you can see this season, it's just not happening for him. And I think Liverpool looked a lot stronger because he wasn't there. No, I'm not blaming him for the poor performances this season, of course not. I mean, the majority of the team have played bad. But yesterday I thought was the best performance of the season because it was away from home. We kept a clean sheet and West Ham never really looked like scoring. And people might say, right, it was only West Ham. Let's not get too carried away. But it was only Nottingham Forest. They won 3-0 at Anfield and it could have been more. We're making ordinary teams look almost world class. And we didn't yesterday. West Ham are an average side and that's exactly the way Liverpool made them look yesterday. So I was very encouraged by you people. Deadbeat says, the only player I have doubts about is Frimpong. Yeah, I think Frimpong, the big problem with Frimpong is he's a wing-back, and Liverpool don't play with wing-backs. So I couldn't understand that signing. I'm not a big fan of his anyway. I haven't seen much of him, but I'm not a big fan. But it just made no sense for me. We were looking for a right-back. We signed a wing-back. It was also great to see Ali back. I mean, there's a calmness about him. There really is. But then he was playing against Nottingham Forest as well. I'm not saying the goals were his fault, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't matter who's in goal, we were conceding. But we have to use this now. We have to use this. What do you think about Arne Slot? What do you think about Arne Slot now? There's a lot of Liverpool fans who are still Arne Slot out. Okay, fair enough. I'm not. Here's my reason. It's all about winning. It's all about results. If Liverpool keep winning, Arne Slot's the manager. Simple. If Liverpool keep losing, unfortunately, there's going to have to be a change. So it all depends on the results. I am never, ever going to hope that Liverpool lose just so we can change the manager. Never. That will never happen with me. So as long as Liverpool keep winning, Arne Slot is the manager, and I really want him to turn it around. Now, after the PSV game, that was a low point. That was a low point. It looked like the players weren't playing for him. I mean, I don't think any of us really gave Liverpool a chance against West Ham after that PSV game. But the players are still playing for him. He changed things. He dropped Salah. He made some big choices there. So yeah, at the moment, happy days. As long as Liverpool keep winning, then Arne Slot is the manager. Simple as. I really do want him to turn it around. James says we need to keep winning. Yeah. The fixtures are kind to us. We've got Sunderland at home. Then we've got Leeds away. I mean, you're looking at it and thinking, lads, this has to be 6 points. It has to be 6 points. And then we see what happens. Right, Steve says, if we win on Wednesday, I'm parking my arse back up on the fence. That's regarding Arne Slot. Yeah, as I say, it's all about results, lads. It's all about results. I can understand, the criticism. People were saying about his tactics and stuff. I get that. But if Liverpool now can go on a run, there's no need to change the manager. So it's all about results. Sam says, really hoping for a Chelsea win, but I suppose the draw would feel like a win given the man disadvantage. I mean, it's definitely 2 points drop for Arsenal. Chelsea actually looked like the only team that was going to win. It's 2 points drop because Chelsea were down for 10 men. But I mean, it's been a good week for Arsenal. They've beaten Spurs, Bayern Munich, and a draw at Chelsea. So Instigator DJ says the title race is not over. 25 games to go. This is what I'm talking about, people. You know, the way I look at it, right, was if yesterday was... Now, I know this is going to sound stupid because it's ifs and buts and all of that. But if yesterday was, say, the first game of the season, we would have said, I tell you one thing, this Liverpool team is going to be good. Isak's off the mark. Florian Wirtz looks unbelievable. You know, if we can just keep this going. And I think the league position doesn't help when we talk about the league. Okay, so we're sitting in 8th position. Man United are above us, which is embarrassing. But if Liverpool were second in the league, 9 points off Arsenal, I don't think any of us would be saying it's over. So if we can just keep this going now, these good performances. I was going to say good performances. We've only had one. But if we can just beat Sunderland now on Wednesday and start to pick up a bit of results. You know, we're going under the radar as well because nobody has given us a chance. So let's see where we are after the next 3-4 games. Carla says, we all know Arsenal are bottle jobs. They will crumble. We need to stay consistent and keep clean sheets. Just stay within touching distance, lads. I'm telling you. 12 games to go. If there's even if there's 9 points in it with 12 games to go, put them under pressure. Steve says, needs to pick the same side against Sunderland, keep Salah on the bench again, and give him a run out second half. Is he gone to the African nations yet? I read yesterday he was going today. But everybody's kind of saying, you know, that he won't play against Sunderland, or that he should be on the bench against Sunderland. But I read yesterday he was flying today. But yeah, I definitely agree with Steve there. I mean, he needs to keep the same team. Do you think Slot would have been sacked if we lost yesterday? I think if we lost yesterday, there probably would have been... I don't think it would have been sacked, say, yesterday, but I don't think there would have been a way back from. That would have been 10 defeats in 13 games. I mean, that's just not good enough for Liverpool Football Club. 9 defeats in 12 wasn't good enough, but if he can just keep these wins going now, that's all that matters. If we pick up Gay in January, it would definitely help. I think a midfielder. Holding midfielder. And this team could be serious. Brian asks, what did you think of Kirkes yesterday? Signs he's starting to settle. Yeah, I thought he done very well. I thought Arne Slot's tactics yesterday were spot on. The fullbacks were very, very high. And that suits Kirkes. So I thought he done well. And as well about Kirkes, he's joining Liverpool at a time when Andy Robertson is still there. And he's there to learn. You know, Andy Robertson can show him a few things, tell him, talk about it, all of that. And hopefully Kirkes is the type of player that he analyses his own game and he says, right, I need to do this better, I need to do that better. Because we know he has the talent. We've seen it at Bournemouth. But he has really struggled. But yesterday was probably his best performance. So hopefully he kicks on now. Kirk's base game is good, but lots of improvement needed. Yeah, absolutely. He definitely needs to improve. I think we all agree with that. But yeah, like I said, Andy Robertson is there, to help him. And, we all want him to succeed because we could see the talent he had at Bournemouth. We are now like Arsenal fans, losing our minds after beating an awful West Ham team. Title's done. Only a Klopp-styled 10-12 winning streak can turn this around, and that includes winning at the Emirates. That's a good way to spoil it there, honestly, people. But look, you're probably right. But the fact is, it's just great to see Liverpool back to winning ways. We have to just keep this going. The amount of talent in that squad as well, people. Serious. It really is. Look, I'm not sitting here and saying Liverpool are going to win the league because we beat West Ham. But the performance really did excite me. You say that it was, we're losing our minds after beating an awful West Ham team. But we made Nottingham Forest look like Barcelona. We made Brentford look like Barcelona. And this is prime Barcelona. Pep's Barcelona. So to go to West Ham and to really control the game, to show that intensity, to me it was encouraging. That's why I'm kind of getting excited about it. But I mean, look, you're right. I mean, it's we need to keep this going now. PSV look like prime PSG. Exactly my point. We're making teams look unbelievable, whereas yesterday we made West Ham look exactly what they are, an average side. But we weren't doing that before. I think the mentality of the players was completely different yesterday. They went out there and it was like defending as a team, working for one another. I mean, some of the tracking back that they did, even Wirtz as well, he was everywhere. McAllister had his best game in a long time. Szoboszlai never stops running. Gravenberch was excellent. So if them boys can keep these performances going, I mean, that's a Premier League win in midfield. So if they can keep this going, keep that mentality, we could go on a run. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, of course not. I'm not even saying that we're back. But if we can just bring that momentum now into Wednesday, hopefully win, and then beat Leeds, confidence will start to grow. Vic says, this just shows that it's on Slot. He's clearly capable of being a good manager, but he lacks common sense and doesn't stick with winning formula. Well, let's find out. Let's see. Because I think he has a winning formula now. I think he has a winning team now. Let's see what he does Wednesday night. If we can win 4 or 5 games on the bounce, I think we will be up there. But that's looking unlikely at the minute. I think one step at a time, and we need to start Gomez in future. And pains me to say it, Salah benched. Yeah, look, if we can win 3-4 games in a row, just see where it takes us. See what happens. Because I am convinced, people, and I'm more convinced now than ever, the second half of the season you are going to see this team really get going. Steve says it's not all on Slot. Konate has been acting like a proper shithouse. Once Madrid said no thanks, he shows good form. Yeah, I thought he was very good yesterday. But I think that is a thing. I think it is. As soon as Real Madrid said no, you know what, we're not signing yet. I think he was in the right headspace yesterday. I think he realises now he's going to sign the contract at Liverpool. This is it. Need to get back to playing well. He's been so inconsistent this season. And I mean, it was probably the easier thing to do was to drop him yesterday. But Arne Slot picked him again. It could have been a disaster because of the way he's playing. But fair play to Konate, because he has been struggling this season. and he had probably one of his best games. But there was a moment in the second half. I mean, a cross came in. It was just a normal clearance. I think he he headed the ball out for a corner. But he got up and he was kind of celebrating it. He was like, that's what we need, lads. That mentality. Defend. Take pride in your defending. So honestly, the mentality for me yesterday was huge. We just need to keep it going. I am nervous after that game if we just go back to playing terrible again. Steady, slow improvement is what's needed. Absolutely agree. Agree 100%. I think Wednesday is a big game now, people. Because, I mean, if we play well, win that game, the confidence will start to get going. But we'll have to wait and see. The last thing we want now on Wednesday is another tough game where we play terrible, individual mistakes, the manager doesn't get it right tactically, and then we're back to square one. That's not what we want. Not at all. So, like I say, hopefully we can just keep it going, get on a bit of a run, and just see where it takes us. What do you think of Cody? I mean, yesterday he got a goal and an assist. So, I mean, stats-wise, unbelievable game. But his overall game yesterday for me was poor. I mean, he's a bit of a one-trick pony for me. Carla says Cody is fire when on form. I mean, I've never seen a player to... Well, I have actually. I mean, Salah in a lot of games can be similar, where he doesn't do a thing in the game and all of a sudden you're checking it and it's like he's got 2 assists, a goal. And Cody Gakpo can be like that. Yesterday, a goal and an assist. I thought his overall game was poor though. He lost the ball over 20 times. Is that true? See, there you go. His overall game yesterday was poor. Gomez and Szoboszlai on the right help Konate. This is not a coincidence. I thought Joe Gomez was excellent yesterday. And it was such a difficult game for him because he was the only one out there. Florian Wirtz was playing instead of Salah, but that's not what his position was. He had a free role. So it was Gomez on that side. And you're right, it was Szoboszlai and Konate had to help him out. And they really did. And it was obvious they worked on it. But fair play to them, because that comes down to the mentality again. Gomez out there, he was going forward, but then he was the one who had to come back. And when he was forward, Szoboszlai would sit in there right back, or Konate come across. So that to me again, that's the mentality. Helping out your teammate. But I thought Joe Gomez was excellent. I'd love for Joe Gomez to stay fit all season. I really would. I'd never have any worries with Joe Gomez. Never. Doesn't matter if he comes off the bench or he starts. Doesn't matter what position he does. I think he's an absolute legend. I really do. He never complains. I mean, you never hear him say, I want to play as a centre-half, or I want to play as a full-back, or whatever. Even when, a couple of years ago, Klopp played him instead of Trent, and he was bringing him into midfield. I remember he did it against Wolves away. And I felt sorry for him because he didn't know what he was doing. He wasn't able to do it. But again, didn't complain. He just got on with it. How far can we go in the Champions League with the team that played West Ham? I've said we're winning the Champions League. I've said we're winning it. I know people will say I'm getting carried away over one good performance. But people, this is the talent that is in that squad. Is, I think, the best in the league. Now, we mightn't have the best squad, but we have the best talent. I mean, we have one of the best strikers. The midfield won the Premier League last season. We have the best centre-half, best goalkeeper. At the moment, we're just not playing well as a team. We did yesterday. And if this team gets going in the second half of the season, I'm convinced we're winning the Champions League. I have to admit, I was a little bit doubtful after the PSV game. But no, I tell you, it's all about mentality for me. The mentality yesterday was excellent. And once Liverpool get to knockout of the Champions League, Anfield. Do you think you're better than us than on paper? Yeah, I think so. If Man City play as well as Man City can play, if Liverpool can play as well as Liverpool can play, I honestly think it's close, but I think Liverpool have just shared it. I really do. Steve says, Wirtz is a good enough reason to think we can win it. That wee man will start showing what he's about. Yeah, another reason. You know, he really looked comfortable yesterday. He's going to get better as the season goes on. And I think last season as well, when, as the season was going on, you could see it in the players that they, at the start of the season, no one gave them a chance of winning the league. But as the season went on, they could see, hold on there now, lads, we can actually win this. And you could see how determined they were. And I've said it so many times, away to Man City was my favourite performance. That was a team that was playing for each other, determined to keep a clean sheet and win that game. So you can see, second half of the season, if they start to believe, hold on there now, lads, we can win the Champions League, I think you're going to see a different team. I really do. I mean, Alexander Isak getting that goal yesterday, his confidence will be up. So I honestly think the talent that is in this squad, you know, this is not like Brendan Rodgers. This is not like Roy Hodgson. Those squads were terrible. This squad is one of the best. If they start playing well, I think it could be a really, really good second half of the season. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be enough to win the league, but the Champions League, it's Liverpool. It's our competition. Liverpool would need to win at the Emirates to have any chance of winning the league. Yeah, look, I mean, I had a bit of fun with the title, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it's going to be difficult to win the league, of course. We're going to have to go on a run that, you know, we went on last season after we lost to Nottingham Forest. What was it, 20-something games unbeaten? We didn't win them all, obviously, but it was unbeaten. So we need to do something similar. But look, you never know. You never know. We need that centre-back to win the Champions League. Yeah, I'll agree. Get Mark Ahey in January, but as well, for me, we seen Konate yesterday. When the man is switched on and his head is in the right space, I've no worries about him. I think he was thinking about Real Madrid. Liverpool chat says Sunderland will not be easy. No, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. But I want to see the same mentality. I really do. I want to see the same attitude. You know, we're at home. We've conceded 7 goals in our last 2 home games. That is not good enough. It's just not good enough. There needs to be a response. Build a team around Wirtz and Isak. Yeah, I think at the start of the season, this was Arne Slot's plan. To build a team around Wirtz anyway. And he just wasn't playing well. Wasn't all his fault, of course. His teammates weren't playing well either. But yesterday was the first game where really I was watching it thinking, wow, this is some player. And he's only going to get better. He really will. He's only going to get better. Yeah, Dave says about Konate, he was switched on once Madrid told him to do one. Yeah. I think you could see a different Konate now. I'm hoping anyway. Does Slaw have a plan? He has a plan to build the team around Florian Wirtz. Just wasn't working earlier. Because the physicality in the team just wasn't right. But I thought there was a big difference in that yesterday. I thought that midfield, McAllister, I thought he had one of his best games for Liverpool. I really did. Simon says, sign many players takes time for team cohesion. Yeah, that's another reason as well. Sam says, we built for the future with this new team. See, this is the thing as well. You know, Liverpool have spent £500 million in the summer. I mean, it's a lot of money. Okay, Liverpool have never done that before. But it wasn't just to basically, right, we're going to spend all this money because we have to win the league this season. We won it last season. They spent that money to build, as Sam says, for the future. You know, they didn't sign Isak just for one season. They didn't sign Wirtz for one season. They didn't sign Kirkes for one season. So it's all about the future. You know, whatever this season now brings, it brings. You know, it's been a terrible start. We'll see what happens in the second half of the season. Hopefully we do end up winning the Champions League or win something. But it's all about the future now, people. You know, they're building for the future. They're not going to spend this type of money next summer. Not going to happen. But the thing about it is, the most important part of any team, for me anyway, is the midfield. Liverpool have a Premier League winning midfield and they're all very young. So there's no reason to change that. And I think at the start of the season, Arne Slot, he got it wrong. Trying to get Florian Wirtz in there and breaking up that midfield three. Yesterday, he played the midfield three and it still allowed Wirtz to have that free role. And it worked perfectly. It really did. This season will feel like a bonus if we get in top four. Well, let's just see. As I say, second half of the season, you could be a different Liverpool team. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to be positive about it now, people. Going to be positive. Until we lose again. Probably on Wednesday. Joking. We have to win on Wednesday. Christine says Maka hasn't been on form for a wee while now. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played well at all. I thought yesterday was his best game. I mean, he played well against Real Madrid. But I thought yesterday, he was excellent, especially in that second half. I thought he was our best player in the second half. I thought Wirtz was the best in the first half. He kind of tired as the second half went on. I mean, it was his first game back after the injury he got on international duty. But I thought second half McAllister was excellent. Johnny says we still have a hole in midfield. We'll have to wait and see, lads. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they can build on this win now yesterday. I was just really impressed with it. I just thought the mentality was different. Thought the attitude was different. What's the bet Arsenal bottle the lead? Lads, if they do it, Arteta is gone. I mean, honestly. I mean, when you look at Liverpool's form, look, I'm hoping. I'm not saying we're going to compete for the league. I'm not saying we're going to guarantee to win the Champions League. I'm just kind of hoping. But Arsenal, you look at it, City are inconsistent, Chelsea are inconsistent, Liverpool inconsistent. Arsenal really, up to this point, have had no real competition. If they don't win the league again, I mean, they have to get rid of them. They really do. They've got the best squad. I think Liverpool's squad is more talented, but Arsenal have the greater depth in their squad. He has no excuses. Although their centre halves are injured at the moment. There's an excuse. He can use that. Yeah, Vic agrees. If Arsenal don't win the league this season, they never will. I mean, they've got no competition, people. You know, if it was a choice between City and Arsenal, I'd pick City. But they're just so inconsistent. Even the other day against Leeds, 2-0 up, cruising. All of a sudden, it's 2-all. They need a last-minute winner. Very similar to Liverpool. Especially early in the season, 2-0 up. All of a sudden, 2-all. Need a last-minute winner. Arsenal are far more balanced, says Noel. Oh yeah, look, I mean, they should win the league. Let's be honest, they should win it. But can you imagine if they didn't? Dave says, to be fair, had Chelsea kept 11 players on the pitch yesterday, they could have beaten Arsenal. What was Caicedo doing? I think he bought into the whole hype of it was Caicedo versus Declan Rice. And I mean, he was all over the place. I thought the red card was actually a little bit harsh. I thought yellow would do. But he probably would have got sent off after that anyway. His head was all over the shop. Just relax. Calm it down a bit. I agree with this. I'd pick anyone over Arsenal except for United. I'd even have Everton over Arsenal. Yep, same as. I really would. I mean, anybody other than United winning the league, happy days. But I do think, I mean, their defence is still strong. Have they conceded 2 goals in a game this season? They did against Sunderland. Away. Was that the only one? You know, I mean, City are conceding goals. Liverpool are conceding goals. You're happy with the football we play? I prefer it if it was a little bit more exciting. The build-up can be a little bit slow. But at the end of the day, it was too end to end at the start of the season. Yesterday, for me, if every game is like that, Liverpool are going to win the majority. I'm happy with that. It was a lot more balanced yesterday, a lot more solid. You know, scoring all these goals at the start of the season, okay, but you're conceding too many. So I'd rather have a boring game, keep a clean sheet, and get a 1-0 win. So as long as Liverpool win, that's all that matters to me. They looked shaky yesterday against 10 men Chelsea, and I don't think they've played great overall. I mean, they didn't play great in the big games, if you like. They didn't play great against Liverpool, didn't play great against Man City. But they have played decent. I watched them against Leeds. I think they won that 5-0. I think to beat Forest was a 3-0. I think last season they would have dropped points in those games. But defensively, they're still strong. Sam says, you got to see Abu Dhabi finale on Sunday, assuming you're rooting for Lando. I'm not a big F1 fan, to be honest. What is going on here now? So what is it? If Max wins on Sunday, does he win? Or what way is the table? I'm not a big fan. I'll be honest with you. I watch the start of F1 races and then I kind of get bored. But all the celebs were at it yesterday. Stevie G was at. Liverpool chat says Arteta can't win in the big grounds. That's what's cost him the league title in the last, 4 years, whatever it is. You know, he plays for a draw. Remember that game against Man City at the Etihad? Arsenal win that game to win the league. He played for a draw. F1 is just a social gathering for rich people. That's actually very well put, to be fair. Yeah, I watched the start of it and that's about it. Vic says not winning at the big grounds isn't what cost Arsenal the league. Not winning against Villa, Bournemouth, Brighton, etc. is what cost them. It is last season. Absolutely, 14 draws. But I think everybody goes back to that game at the Etihad. It was just the mentality in that game was all wrong. Go and try and win it. But yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, he dropped too many points against average teams. Right, Sam says Max wins race and wins title if Lando is lower than 5th. So probably Lando's probably going to win. Vic says, I wouldn't care if we lost to Liverpool and Arsenal twice if it meant that we won the league. Oh yeah, I'm the same. Absolutely. What do you think of the fixtures this week? Let's have a look here. City are away to Fulham. Spurs away to Newcastle. Thomas Frank is going to be in trouble. I mean, the fans are really starting to turn on him. Do you know as well, when Arne Slot is really under pressure, and all the names that get mentioned, like, lads, they're mid-table managers. If Thomas Frank was still at Brentford, he would be linked with Liverpool. Mid-table manager. What's his name at Crystal Palace? Glasner. Mid-table. Your man at Bournemouth. Mid-table manager. I just don't... There isn't a standout manager in the league from those clubs. In my opinion, just mid-table. Thomas Frank proves it. Unbelievable job at Brentford. Unbelievable. Look at the state of Spurs. Look at the state of them. Right, Wednesday. Arsenal at home to Brentford. First goal in that game would be huge now. Huge. Liverpool, of course, at home to Sunderland. Brentford. Yeah. Can't see Brentford getting much out of that now, to be honest. Spurs are always Spurs regardless. True, I'll give you that. But no, they're just mid-table managers. Joe says Tottenham are 19th at home in the league. I'm telling you, Thomas Frank is going to get sacked. He's going to get sacked. I mean, the way he's playing football, it works at Brentford. And this is the thing with these mid-table managers. Because, say it was Glasner at Crystal Palace, I think he's a perfect example. He wins the FA Cup last season, right? Great achievement. But if Crystal Palace lose 4 games in a row, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. There's no pressure at them clubs. It's the same at Brentford at Thomas Frank. If they win 3 or 4 games in a row, all of a sudden they're geniuses. But then if they lose, no one's talking about it. It's a different type of pressure at Liverpool. And Man United, say. Completely different. And even Arsenal. Johnny says, did you see that Leone is to return to training in January? How is that possible? Yeah, it'll be light training. He won't be back this season. It's a full year. It's a full year injury. When they say training, it's going to be very light training. There's no way he plays football again this season, unfortunately. Ian says, I regret wanting us to lose against West Ham so Slot would be sacked. It was too much of an emotional response. I hope he can turn it around. This is what I was saying, people. I will never, ever want Liverpool to lose. Never. And if you're Arne Slot out, okay, fair enough. But if Liverpool keep winning, then there's no need to sack the manager. Vic says, how do you find elite managers then? Several managers look world-class at mid-table clubs, but that doesn't mean they are world-class. Yeah, I think a lot of it is, you just kind of get lucky at times. You really do. I mean, if Pep Guardiola left Man City now at the end of the season, would you take Eddie Howe, for example? Would you take Eddie Howe at Man City? I wouldn't take him at Liverpool. Again, I just think that there's a limit to what these managers can do. There's just something, I don't know, to me, they're just mid-table managers. They all seem to have a ceiling. I don't know what it is. The Premier League have decent managers, but not one of them look capable of being world-class. You know, you've got, obviously, Pep. Arne Slot won the league last season. Let's see what happens this season. I still believe in him. Hopefully he can turn it around. I mean, Arteta, if he does something this season, maybe. Maresca, not yet. I mean, a lot of Chelsea fans are 50-50 with him. Vic says, I haven't thought at all about what we will do post-Pep. I can tell you right now what you're going to do post-Pep. You're going to get Vincent Kompany. But still, for me, I don't rate Vincent Kompany. I don't. I think the German league is beyond poor. I would win the league there. I just think the lack of real quality managers. Enrique at PSG, world class, absolute world class. I'd have him at Liverpool every day. But other than that, I mean, even Xavi Alonso at Real Madrid, you know, decent, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I'm being harsh, people. Yeah, Liverpool chat makes a good point. The guy who comes in for Slot could be 10 times worse. Who do you get? You know, who do you get? If it's anyone in the Premier League, I wouldn't be excited about it. I honestly wouldn't be. I really would not be excited if Liverpool were to go and approach Crystal Palace for Glasner. I really wouldn't. Yeah, Johnny agrees. I'd win the league at Bayern easy. He says, yeah, I don't rate Vincent Company at all. I really don't. Tom T says Steven Gerrard. I mean, let's be honest. If you got Steven Gerrard back, it's a bit similar to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going back to Man United. Does anybody really rate Steven Gerrard as a manager? I don't know. Christine asks, "Are you doing a live on Wednesday, David?" Yeah, I'm going to do a live watch along on Wednesday. Um, I do enjoy them. You know, it was edge of the seat stuff yesterday for me anyway. So yeah, it's a bit of crack. So hopefully Liverpool can win. Dave says Alonso is struggling at Madrid, second in the league, and not liked by the prima donnas. I mean, it's Real Madrid, honestly. Second in the league. They're still in the Champions League. You know, there's no problem there. They're going to get through to the knockout. And they want him gone. I read today that they want Zidane. Honestly. And this is big clubs nowadays. It's player power. Bruce says, hello, David. You are doing a super job watching early every day. Thank you very much for the support. Really appreciate that. Brian says, Real Madrid are a joke of a club, full stop. Yeah, 100%. How are we going with the likes, people? What have we got? 49 likes. 55 people in the building. Let's get the likes up, people. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, Gary says, Gerrard would be very much like the Souness era. Both legendary captains but useless man management skills. Look, I think the majority of Liverpool fans would probably be on board if Gerrard went in there as interim manager. But it would just be because of the emotional thing. I mean, tactics wise, I mean, he had 15 minutes to hold on against Man City. 15 minutes, people. But I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't think about that at all anymore. 15 minutes. I've never watched the highlights of that game. I'm not going to lie. Never watched the highlights. But 15 minutes, people. 2-0 up. Villa were 2-0 up. Oh, we were so close. So close. Johnny agrees. He says he'll never forgive Stevie. Look, a bit harsh, okay? But Steve says Ollie Watkins missed an absolute sitter to make it 3-0. Yeah, I didn't need to know that. Did not need to know that. I was living in ignorance for the last, what is it now? What year was that? 2022. Jesus, boys, 3.5 years ago nearly. Oh no, it was a tough day, lads. It was a tough week. That was a tough week. Then to lose the Champions League final the week after. And we absolutely destroyed Real Madrid. I mean, we destroyed them. We really did. But I'm over it, people. I'm over it now. We've won the league since. I mean, 15 minutes. I'm joking. No, I'm over it. I'm over it. Johnny says that was the worst week as a Liverpool fan. I just I was very, very depressed after that Champions League game. It was devastating. Absolutely devastating. I mean, I couldn't watch football. I know it was the summertime, but usually you'd be watching anything. No, I switched off. Lost the quad by 2 goals. It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. History, lads. And the most frustrating thing about that season, the 2 trophies we won, out of the 4, were the 2 that you wouldn't pick to win. You know, I would have taken just the league or just the Champions League. To be that close to the 4. I mean, we are the team that went the closest to winning the 4. Just heartbreaking. If we had have won the league and the Champions League and we lost the Carabao Cup final and the FA Cup final, I'd take that all day long. All day long. 2 goals. Steve, I have to say, you're doing your best now to cheer me up here now. Turbo Minty Fresh says PTSD. Oh, it was tough. It really was. Some team though, wasn't it? That was some team. 2022. And I remember when we had the terrible season after we won the league, saying the end of, say, 2021 season. I remember a friend of mine, Man United fan, and he's saying, oh no, Liverpool are finished now. Finished. And I just remember thinking to myself, when Van Dijk comes back, you are going to get some shock. And to be that close to winning the 4. Paul is in the chat. Good evening, Paul. Hope we get Bastoni. It looks like we're going to sign a centre half in January. So it's either him or Mark Gahey. I take Mark Gahey because of the Premier League experience and because of what went on in the summer. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm just checking the table here. Anyone see the Man United match yesterday? My God, they annoy me. Crystal Palace, whenever they play against Liverpool, they turn up like prime Barcelona. That second half yesterday, absolute embarrassment. If Crystal Palace win that game, they would have ended up in 5th. 1-0 up at half time. And they let United back into the game. And the first half, United were useless. I mean, second half, they weren't much better. They just annoy me. Sunderland are 6th in the table. Fair play to them, I have to say. Fair play to them. I'm looking at the table here. Look at the state of Liverpool's goal difference. 0. Honestly. Paul says, good performance yesterday. Let's hope it's the start of a good run. Yeah, that's what we all want. That is what we all want. Steve is still talking about 2022. Let it go, Steve. Come on now. Battered Madrid in the final and a free in goal gets man of the match. He pulled off about 8 saves and about 3 of them were world class. But I'm over it, people. I'm over it. Honestly. There's no point in even talking about it. I don't even remember it. Don't remember it. Don't remember the chance that Salah had that Courtois just put out his arm and it just hit his arm. And of course, another game, it could have hit his arm and went in. It hit his arm and went over the bar. That was about 80 something minute. And I was nearly going to turn it off because I said, we're not winning this. We're not scoring. But I'm over it, people. I'm over it. I'm over it. Tom T says, you look very healthy, David. What's your diet? Tell us your secret. I go to the gym about 3 times a week. I mean, the diet is, it's just standard, people. I don't really eat takeaways. 41 years old. I try to look after myself. As we get older, we have to do it. Hopefully we turn it around now. I'm giving Slough 4 games to build on from that game. If he doesn't revert to type when we go on win and run, then I will be slot in. But yeah, that's what I've been saying. If he goes on a win and run, there's no need to get rid of him. If we end up, losing to Sunderland, losing the Leeds, then unfortunately, a change will probably have to be made. I see Stephen Vicker having a right old debate here. Yeah. Johnny says, play nice, lads. Yeah, come on now, lads. I have to say fair play to Vic for coming in here every Monday night. Sean says there's a very active Man City fan in the chat. Is that healthy or just distracting for him and us? Look, he's more than welcome. Vic is a big supporter of the channel. He's more than welcome. Fair play to him. He turns up even when Man City lose. So, Tom says if we keep winning without Salah, then I will be more worried if he's the actual issue and not Arne Slot. Well, time will tell. He needs to stick with the team now that he played yesterday, and time will tell. And if Liverpool look more of a team, which they did yesterday, then unfortunately Mo Salah's time is finished at Liverpool. I think it's his last season anyway. I'm going to be honest. I think it's his last season. Liverpool chat says, I'd be interested to see how we play during African Nations. Yeah, exactly. Without Mo Salah, Jamie Carragher made a good point. He said about Salah, he doesn't like criticising him on the pitch because he's a legend of what he's done, the consistency he's shown, he's won everything. But it's the other players. The other players have to step up, and yesterday they did. Salah wasn't there. He's not played well this season. But you can't keep relying on Mo Salah. You can't keep relying on Virgil van Dijk. The other players have to step up. And yesterday they did. I thought they were brilliant. I really did. Johnny asked if a huge offer came in from Saudi for Salah, which would cover the Semenyo fee, would you take it? I think I would. I think I would. Look, as I say, Mo Salah, the man is a legend. And he'll always be a Liverpool legend. I mean, a statue should be built outside Anfield for that man. But look, I mean, he's just not playing well. And if Liverpool did get a serious offer for him, I'm not 100% sure on Semenyo, I'll be honest. I haven't seen much of him. But if you got a good offer for Salah, I think it might suit everybody if he did move on at this stage, because he's just not playing well. Look, I definitely want him to turn that around. I want him to be the Mo Salah last season, but I just wonder, is it ever going to happen? Yeah, Steve agrees with that. He said he'd take your hand off for it. Yeah, I'm not sure about Semenyo though, lads. I'll be honest. I haven't seen a lot of him. I'm not saying he's no good or anything. But I think one of the big problems at the moment, if a player scores a couple of goals, all of a sudden he's world class. You know, I said this many times about Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is now a good defender because he scored a winner against Liverpool. He scored a goal, which means he's a good defender. You know, it's bullshit. So I don't know how good actually Semenyo is. Because it goes back to just, it's stats and highlights. But for a full 90-minute game, what's he like? Because he scored against Liverpool at the start of the season. And, oh wow, what a player. He didn't really impact the game. So that's... Nowadays, it's just, we're signing... Everyone's signing players because, oh, he scored a goal, which means he must be good. Yeah, Liverpool chat says, Semenyo has purple patches, it seems. Yeah, I don't know if he's... Like, as I said earlier, there's a different pressure when you're at Liverpool. If he was to sign for Liverpool in January, everybody be saying, oh, this is the signing that could win Liverpool the Champions League. And all the pressure's on him then. Everybody's looking at him. So it's a completely different pressure. It's the same when you play for a mid-table team. You could score 3 goals in 3 games. All of a sudden you are, wow, what a player. And then you mightn't score again for another 10 games and nobody mentions you. It's not like, what has happened to him? Why is his form dipped? Nobody even mentions you. So I just wonder, is he actually good enough for Liverpool? Johnny says some players go up a level when they sign for a big club like Eze. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some players do, absolutely. But some players don't. So it is a gamble when you're signing a player that's just a mid-table player. Sorry, playing for a mid-table club. We don't know if he's just a mid-table player. I always thought Eze was class though. I have to be honest. Seen Eze a few times. I thought he was class. Sam says, I'd rather Semenyo stay at Bournemouth. Plays with freedom. I don't think the level above is for him, but could be wrong. I mean, that's a perfect point because there's question marks. We don't know. I hate this. When he scores a goal, all of a sudden, wow, what a player. Man City want him. Arsenal want him. Liverpool want him. Over 90 minutes, is he man of the match? You know what I mean? Is he impacting the game? Is he the player that Bournemouth are saying, get the ball to him because he's going to do something? Or is it just, oh my God, he scored a goal? Maybe I'm being harsh. As I say, I haven't seen him, but it's just nowadays, it's just pure highlights and stats. Kat says, I would like to get someone like Rodrigo instead of Semenyo. Kirk has flattered to deceive at Bournemouth last season. Kirk has got into the player or the team of the season. Jamie Carragher had him in his team of the season. This was before Liverpool signed him. It was right at the end of last season. I was thinking, wow, if Liverpool could get him. But is it the step up to Liverpool, or is this actually what Kirkes is? Because I'm hoping he does improve. But if this was Kirkes last season, I don't think any of us would want to sign him. Steve says he's the best left back in the league. Yeah, I think we all thought that, to be fair. He's just not, he hasn't turned up yet. Kat says people are comparing Semenyo's situation to Mane, I assume. But he's nowhere near. Mane was world class even when he was at Southampton. What a player that man was. What a player. Sean says Kirk has found some good form against West Ham. Yeah, it was his best game for Liverpool, I thought. I thought it was his best game. But I honestly think that comes down to the midfield as well. The midfield was helping the fullbacks yesterday. I honestly think a good team, it's all about the midfield. Mane was such a great player. I remember being so excited when we signed him from Southampton. Also shocked as to why he was so underrated. He was underrated because of Salah. Salah always got the headlines because Salah always got the goals. But I always thought Mane was world class. I would actually pick Mane over Salah. Salah obviously has the better stats, but I always preferred Mane. I always thought he was a better player. He was the type of player that could just change a game. Now, Salah was doing the same as well a couple of years ago. But for me, Mane was just a special player. Dave says Mane was a once-off. Doubt we will see another one of him for quite a while. What a player he was. Did you see him on Rio Ferdinand's podcast? He said he was going to join Spurs. And then Jurgen Klopp rang him. Or Liverpool rang him, I think. And he said, right, I'm going to Liverpool. And, the likes of Van Dijk and Salah, Alisson, they all kind of get the credit for that's when things changed. But for me, it was Mane. Mane was the first signing. He signed with Liverpool when we didn't have European football. Remember the goal he scored against Arsenal first game of the season? That was some season he had. Then we signed Salah, and Mane has to go play on the other side. And for me, he was even better on the other side. That's how good a player he was. So he was playing out of position to accommodate Mo Salah. And he was even better. So I think you have to go back to Sadio Mane. That's when things changed. He got us into the Champions League, and then it was all systems go. Kat says even United wanted him before Klopp called. Yeah, he was some player. He really was. Robbie says Mane had high praise for Bobby Firmino on that Rio Ferdinand podcast. That's another one. Bobby Firmino. What a player he was. I mean, he was the perfect false nine. He was perfect. Anybody who plays a false nine, you need to go back and look at Bobby Firmino. Just Hannah says, I still miss Bobby. I miss that team. I miss that team. Because that team, I know it's easy to say it. Look, Man City could say the same. Their team, and when they got 100 points. But that Liverpool team under Jurgen Klopp, I mean, they walk this league. They absolutely walk it. I mean, it'd be over. It would be over. I mean, the league is terrible this season. We're 9 points off the top of the table. We have been shocking. Relegation form. 9 points off the top. Think about it this way, people. I don't think Liverpool are going to win the league. I don't think we're in a title race, okay? But let's just say there was a 3-point swing there. Let's say midweek, okay, which probably won't happen because Arsenal are playing Brentford. But let's say Arsenal lose that game. Liverpool win. 6 points in it after the start that we've had. I mean, the league is terrible. It is shocking. You know, the media tried to build it up as, oh, it's the greatest league in the world. It's not. It's shocking. Sam says, Salah, Firmino, Mane was the best front three ever. Oh, it was, yeah. I mean, it was the greatest front three in Premier League history anyway. In my opinion. I don't think you'll ever see a better one. Vic says, the 4 highest points total in Premier League history belong to us and Liverpool. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But this Arsenal team, okay, they're favourites to win the league. They're odds on to win the league. They have a nice little gap at the top. I mean, they would not stay with that Liverpool and Man City team back in 2020, 2019. They were on a different level. A different level. Yeah, Kat says Premier League is absolute trash this season. Set pieces and long balls. Yeah. I mean, like, they like to paint it as... I'm not just saying that because Liverpool are 8. Okay, and we're having a terrible season. But the point I'm making is, I mean, a couple of wins in a row and all of a sudden, Liverpool could be back in it after a disaster of a season. If this league was anyway decent, there is no way Liverpool even get into the top 4. Couple of wins in a row and all of a sudden you're right back in it. We won't get another Premier League title race like that in our lifetimes anyway. It was unbelievable. It really was. I remember Gary Neville. Jeez. Another prediction he got wrong. I remember he was saying it from about... It could have been from about March he was saying it. These teams will drop points. They will drop points. Man City will drop points. Liverpool will drop points. They always do. In a title race, you will drop points. Liverpool and Man City they did not drop 1 point. I think they each won like 10, 11, 12 games in a row to end up with Man City getting 98 and Liverpool getting 97 points. He was adamant. No, they will drop points. They will drop points. Wrong again, Gary. Wrong again. This is an interesting point. The standard was set so high, where now a normal league season is perceived as a weak league. That's actually a very good point. Because the league that we're seeing now, this is the league that Fergie used to win. every single season. You could afford to lose 4 games and you'd still walk the league. But when it was Man City, if you even drew a game, because I'm speaking from experience, people, if Liverpool drew a couple of games, it was worse than a defeat. Because you're thinking, that's it, we're over it now. City are 2 points ahead, we're over it now. Game over. The standard was unbelievable. Liverpool chat says, Gary also said we would never win the league in his lifetime. Did he say that? Honestly, I don't think he's ever got a prediction right. He keeps picking Arsenal to win the league. He's picked Arsenal now to win the league for the last 3 years because it's just basically, just keep picking them and you'll be right once. The funniest one he ever said, though, the funniest one, this was absolutely classic. Did you remember that interview that he had with Jim Radcliffe? Was it during last season? And Radcliffe told him that Man United are running out of money. And Gary Neville believed it. I mean, come on, Gary, come on. You can't be that stupid. Man United are running out of money. And when they lost the Europa League final, he was on that American show that he was on. And he was looking right, I think, I did. I made a video about it. He looked right down the barrel of the camera. Man United are running out of money. They then went on and spent over 200 million on a brand new front three. Like, honestly, he talks so much shite at times, it's unreal. Manchester United running out of money. Okay, it happened. He'd drive you mad. He's so dramatic at times. They were never running out of money. But your man knew, right, we'll have an interview with Gary Neville, because he'll believe everything. And that'll be good PR for us. Man United are running out of money. Although he hasn't mentioned it this season, that they were running out of money. John asks, hi Dave, do you think Steven Gerrard has what it takes to be a top-class manager in your opinion? I'm going to say no. I don't. I think he has a ceiling. I think the Scottish League is his... You look at Frank Lampard. I think Frank Lampard is a perfect example. He is having an unbelievable season in the Championship. I think that's his level. I think that could be Steven Gerrard's level. So, unfortunately for the great Stevie G, no. I don't ever see him being a world-class manager. He was a world-class player, but I don't think he'll be a world-class manager. Kat says, no, he failed at Villa. Could have won the league for us on the last day. Just talking about that. Just reminiscing about that. One of the worst weeks ever. It was shocking. Villa fans hate him. I mean, you have to look at the difference in manager. Steven Gerrard was at Aston Villa. Now, I understand there's been a lot of investment since. But Unai Emery is a top-class manager. You look at the difference. You know, he had them in the Champions League last season. They're in Europe again this year. Now, as I say, I know there's been investment. But to me, that's the difference of a top-class manager. It really is. Sean says he'd take Unai Emery at Liverpool. I honestly don't know if I would. I was thinking about this the other day. I really don't know. I mean, the style of football, he knows how to win. I'll give him that. He knows how to win. I don't know if he'd suit Liverpool. Cat says no chance I'm taking Unai. Yeah, I don't know. There's certain managers kind of suit certain clubs. I mean, it's like Diego Simeone. I mean, he has been unbelievable at Atletico Madrid. I wouldn't want him at Liverpool. You know, he's won everything in Spain. He's got the 2 European Cup finals. He was so unlucky not to win both of them. But I just wouldn't have him at Liverpool. There's just something about certain managers for certain clubs. You know, the likes of Jose Mourinho. No, definitely not. Even Mourinho in his prime. You know, when he went to Man United, he was never going to work there. You know what I mean? Certain managers for certain clubs. Roy Hodgson, when he was at Liverpool, that was never going to work. He was very limited. This has a good question here now. Would you take Savi Hernandez? I actually would take Savi. I would. I actually would. I think that's a very intriguing one. I mean, it's a big step up for him. He was at Barcelona. What went wrong with Barcelona? He was sacked. Or did he leave? But I would take him at Liverpool, yeah. See, Sam says Unai Emery probably wouldn't cut it at Liverpool. Struggled after the Arsene Wenger era. I think it's the size of the clubs, people. You know, he was at Sevilla. Then he went to Villarreal. But he went to Arsenal, then he went to Villarreal. But he was at PSG. It was a disaster. I think certain managers are just... They can overachieve, if you like, at some clubs. But when they go to that next step, it just doesn't suit them. And I think that's Unai Emery. Now, Aston Villa are perfect. Look, Aston Villa, they've made a lot of investment. I'm sure their ambition is to eventually compete for the Premier League. I'm not saying it's going to be next season or the season after, but I'm sure eventually. But I just don't see Unai Emery being that manager to be consistently competing for the Premier League title or for the Champions League. I just think it's too big for him. But I think he's perfect to overachieve at a mid-table team, if that makes sense. Like, the job he did at Sevilla was unbelievable. He won the Europa League at Villarreal, wasn't it? He then got them to a Champions League. Was that app? Yeah, he got them to the Champions League semi-final. Liverpool bet them. But certain clubs, certain managers, I don't know. Kat says Xavi was dismissed unfairly at Barcelona for saying they have no money. No, I definitely take him at Liverpool. I would love Inzaghi or Luis Enrique. I'd love Luis Enrique. I think he's the most underrated manager. I know that might sound stupid, but Pep Guardiola was hailed as the greatest thing since sliced bread when he won the treble at Barcelona. And I mean, fair enough, look, some of the football they played was unbelievable. But Luis Enrique, he went there and he won the treble as well. And no one really gave him the praise. No one gave him the credit. He then goes to PSG and he wins their first ever Champions League. PSG always had this thing that, you know, they were bottlers, they wouldn't get over the line. Too many superstars, too many egos. He went in there, he sorted that out. You know, he got them playing as a team. That to me is an unbelievable manager. Because PSG looked like the job that nobody was going to get it right. It didn't matter who you were. You know, Pep could go there with Klopp as his assistant. They still wouldn't get it right because there's too many egos. And Enrique sorted that. I remember last year, this time last season, he dropped Dembele for the Arsenal game, the league phase game, because I think he was late for training or a meeting or something. And that to me is brilliant man management, because I got the best out of Dembele. He ended up winning the Ballon d'Or. So I definitely take Enrique at Liverpool. Enrique won 5 trophies last year, yeah. I mean, he's a serious manager, but it's his man management. You know, PSG won the Champions League last season, going a different way about it. It wasn't like they just bought all the best players in the world. I mean, They did, of course, spend money. Of course they did. But he had to sort out that ego problem. And he did. And he went after the biggest player in that team. And he sorted it out. And he got them all on board. And to me, that was just... And I remember when he said, when PSG played Liverpool, just before the second leg at Anfield, he said, whoever wins this game wins the Champions League. And I just thought, wow, that's a proper manager, because he was right. PSG went on to win it. Enrique said the hardest team he played was Liverpool. That's what I'm talking about yesterday, people. Liverpool need to get back to that. Arne Slot tried to turn us into PSG. He didn't need to. If Enrique said Liverpool were the toughest team he played last season, stick with that. Make us even tougher. That if we play them again, we're not going to lose this time. He went about it a little bit wrong. But hopefully, he has seen the error of his ways, and we get back to winning ways now. Go on a run, people. Enrique has a respectable presence. Any player would want to play for him. Yeah, he has that about him. He really does. But he doesn't get the credit. I don't think he gets the credit. I was delighted he won the Champions League. And to win it 5-0 as well. I was delighted he won it. But I don't think he gets the credit. You know, at Barcelona, I don't think they have him up on the pedestal like they have with Pep. I might be wrong about that, but it just doesn't seem the same. I fully believe if we had beaten PSG, we win the Champions League. He was definitely right about that game, yeah. But it was just to say it before the game. It was the last 16 as well. A lot of football to be played. And he came out and said, whoever wins this game wins the Champions League. And he was spot on. But that's great man management. You know, that was basically a message to his players. But yeah, I think he's a great manager. I think he's the most underrated. It might sound crazy, but I think he's underrated. Just checking the scores here, people. Birmingham are beating Watford. Tom Brady's team. The legend. Birmingham are 7th, just outside the playoff places. I tell you, if you think Sky Sports and the Premier League is turning American, you just wait until Tom Brady gets there. You haven't seen anything yet. If Tom Brady ends up being in the Premier League with Birmingham City, that is going to be the most American league you will ever see. But the man is a legend. And Wrexham are 10th. If Wrexham and Birmingham ever get to the Premier League, it's over, people. It'll be social media. Non-stop. Did anyone watch the Birmingham documentary? I kind of gave up on it after about 3 episodes. I watched the first 3. I mean, I seen the episode where Tom Brady says that our manager lacks work ethic. I think it's just Wayne Rooney's communication skills are just zero. Cat says the game's gone. Oh, the game is definitely gone. I'm not joking. If Birmingham and Wrexham get to the Premier League, it's over, people. It's over. It's going to be the cringiest. Sky Sports will be only hoping for it. It'll be all about Ryan Reynolds and Tom Brady. Sam says Coventry coming up, but I feel sorry for Middlesbrough. Why didn't Edwards stay there? Could have got them up. Made no sense. It made no sense. It made no sense. I don't know what he was at. You know, you'd like to think that these managers, you know, you go on a journey with a team, you know, see how you get on. Middlesbrough are second in the league. You know, they're definitely sure of a playoff place, you'd imagine. Unless they have a disaster of a second half of the season. And Wolves are absolutely shocking. Daz asks, what's your 11 for Wednesday? Very same as yesterday. No changes. Zero changes. Sam says he had a pre-season bet that Wrexham would get promoted. Deadpool in the Premier League. But I think this season stepped too far. I'm surprised they're 10th, to be honest. They're not having a bad season. But yeah, I'm telling you, you get Tom Brady and Ryan Reynolds in the Premier League. We'll never hear the end of it. Do you think Pep era is over now? I think he leaves at the end of the season. I think he leaves at the end of this season. I actually said something on a chat there, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I think Pep leaves at the end of this season, and then the charges. And then Man City are found guilty. But Pep is gone. Pep has sailed off into the sunset. So Pep doesn't have to answer the questions. So they can say, well, Pep didn't have anything to do with this. Pep can't answer the questions. He's gone. So the new manager, whoever that is, probably Vincent Kompany, will have to deal with it. That's what I think is going to happen. I might be completely wrong. But here we are, the 1st of December, and still no result from the Man City case. There's something going on behind the scenes with that anyway. Tom says, Man City, you're getting Enrique. If that happens, I'd be devastated. I'm not even joking. What time of the night are we? 20 to 10 people. Should we stay on for another 5 minutes? It wasn't really a group therapy session because Liverpool won. So it was a nice change. A very nice change. Hopefully we keep it going. Make sure you join us Wednesday for the watch along. Feels good knowing we have 2 Premier games in 1 week. Hopefully we can get 2 wins to turn around the season. I mean, the league is so bad. 3 wins in a row and all of a sudden Liverpool could find themselves top 4. If Arsenal were to drop points, I mean, people would be saying Liverpool have turned it around. Liverpool are back in the title race. That's what 3 wins can do, but we have to get them. Christine says, enjoyed the show. Thanks very much for joining. Hopefully you can join me on Wednesday. And hopefully it's 3 points for Liverpool. Arsenal have a tough game away at Aston Villa on Saturday. Seen that actually, yeah. They actually have some favourable fixtures, but that is a tough one. Kat says, I think we'll get our first draw of the season on Wednesday. See, it depends. A draw is not a terrible result if it's all Liverpool, Sunderland's goalkeeper is man of the match, and Liverpool just can't score. So if it was 0-0, say, for example, if Liverpool hit the post, shots off the line, you'd accept that. You could take that. That's still a positive performance. But if it's a draw where we don't play well, Sunderland score twice, so there is a way to draw a game, there is a way to lose a game. Draw's not the end of the world, but it depends on what way it goes. Sam can't watch Arsenal because of the Abu Dhabi qualifying. You watch the qualifying as well. Fair play to you. That's a proper fan now. Proper fan of Formula One. What do Ireland have in the playoff draws? They have to play Czech Republic or Czechia. And I think then it'd be Ukraine in the final. But the final would be in Dublin. The semi-final is away. And the final will be in Dublin. So we still have a chance. Outside chance. But they've given themselves a chance. Kat says, I don't miss Darwin. He'd have missed that Isak goal. Oh, he was something else, wasn't he? The most frustrating player you'll ever see in your life. I mean, some days he looked world class. He absolutely looked world class. And then other days he couldn't score from 3 yards. The most frustrating player I've ever seen. The most frustrating player I've ever seen in a Liverpool shirt. And we've had a few. I think it was because we had such high hopes for him. But Jesus, boys, he couldn't. Some days he could not score from 3 yards. And then outside the box, top bins. The man was mad. Johnny says, David, let me ask you, are we back in the mixer? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Not only after one win, but if we can keep this going now, let's say we get 3 wins in a row, which very, very capable of. Let's see what the table looks like then. Let's just keep winning. See where it takes us. I've always said, about 10 games to go. Even if there's 9 points in it at the moment, with 10 games to go, if there's 9 points in it, pressure's on Arsenal. Pressure is all on Arsenal. The positive to take from it, people. 9 points is not a lot at this stage of the season. We have been absolutely shocking. Relegation form, only 9 points behind. If we were sitting in second position now, we would be saying, we're definitely not out of it. But because we're so low on the table, it just looks terrible. But 9 points is not a lot. The only problem is, we play Wednesday and so do Arsenal. So if we were playing, say, tomorrow night, and we could win, that'd be 6 points. I mean, look, I'm probably just talking nonsense. We'll probably end up losing. No, we won't. I'm going to be positive, people. Yeah, Steve says, look, aren't we only like 4 points off second? That's mental. There you go. Couple of wins and all of a sudden we're back up there. Let me just check this table here. Like we're only 3 points off Chelsea. Chelsea are third. We're only 4 points off Man City. Man City are second. You know, it's usually when you're sitting in 8 in the table, you're thinking, we're having a hope of even top 4. You know, we just need to keep it going now. Keep it going, people. And let's just see where it takes us. But isn't it crazy the way Liverpool have not had one draw this season so far? And that goes back as well to the draws. Draws are not worth a shite to you. If it's late in the season and you're, say, like last season we were, 11 points clear or whatever, then you take a draw away at Everton or Aston Villa like we did last season. But if you look at a draw, right, say 10 draws in a row, right, that's 30 points. You only get 10. You're better off to lose 5 of those games and win 5. You're 5 points better off. You know, the draws look good because we're unbeaten. We're unbeaten. Still haven't lost. 10 draws in a row. They're not worth a shite, people. Not worth a shite. It's a mad table. Fulham is 7 points off fourth in 15th place. It's crazy, people. I tell you. When you look at that table, maybe this is the perfect season for Liverpool to have such a bad start to the season. Because, like even Tottenham have been absolutely woeful. They're only 6 points off top 4. Tottenham are only 2 points below Liverpool. Liverpool chat says, didn't Arsenal have 13 draws last season? I think it was 14 draws last season. That's my point. The draws, not worth a shite to you. I think it was 14 draws they had. 14 points to go. They're better off to lose 7 and win 7. That's 21 points. Steve said we were 5 points clear after 5. Now we're 9 points clear. 9 points clear, I wish. 9 points behind after 13. Oh, it's been a terrible run of games, people. Vic says, believe it or not, I think the league is more competitive now than it has ever been in recent years. Top teams aren't as good, but mid-table teams are stronger than ever. I mean, basically, they're all pretty crap. Let's be honest. It is competitive because it's so close. But it's very low on quality. The games are not great either. It's long balls, set pieces. Johnny says 9 losses in 12. I think I'll always have PTSD over this run. You won't if we end up winning the league. Tell you now. We probably won't win the league. But still. It's not as bad as the form suggests it should be. I mean, really, 9 defeats in 12. So what is it in the league? What was it, 6 defeats in 8 or something, or 6 defeats in 7? I mean, really, that's bottom. That's bottom 4 or 5. For us to be only 9 points off the top. You never know, people. Right, everybody, I think I'm going to call it a night. 10 to 10. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Are we back? Maybe not. But anyway, time will tell. At least we were talking about a win. Thanks for joining us, Kat. As I say, at least we were talking about win tonight. It was better than all the defeats. So hopefully we can keep it going on Wednesday. I'm going to be doing a watch along on Wednesday. Hopefully you can join me for that. And yeah, hopefully we get another 3 points. Hopefully Arne Slot doesn't change the team. And so yeah, thanks everybody. So I'll talk to you all very, very soon.